Well, Rainy and Red say good morning. The sun's up. At 5 o'clock, both yard lights were off. Dogs were happy to get fed. The 2-year-old in there was happy to get her a little grain and not have to fight over it with Minnie. And things are damp this morning. I can still hear it dripping off the roof. It will for a while. And I just stepped out of the shop. I saw something. I wondered, what the hell do I see? Yeah. Yesterday, Ty turned the sprinkler system on for the lawn, because otherwise it's not going to be much longer and it's going to be changing color. And I don't know what the deal is with that thing. It has always had, well, not always, but for quite a few years now. You turn it on and you can set the time you want it to run on the days you want it to run and how many minutes you want it to run. It ran, I think, 5 times yesterday. She does have it, yeah, she's got it set to run Sunday, so it's probably actually on it. But yesterday it was, she did the test and everything ran, all the sprinklers worked. And it proceeded to do 5 more times after that. And for the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it's been, it finishes running and then starts the cycle over again. It might be 10 minutes later that it starts it over again, but it starts it over again. Rainy, really? Your bum hurt? So, anyway, and I realized last night, I should have parked that tractor a little farther away from the barn, but that's not a big deal now, because instead of the sun coming up over there, it's coming up over here. So here in another, realistically, probably another 20 minutes, that seat will start getting dried off. It should be dry by the time somebody's going to sit on it. Becky says she's going to do that today, and I don't know. And Ty decided she's spending a little time with Maury since he's leaving today to go down to Lakeview in Southern Oregon for a 2-week-long job. And there's somebody I haven't seen for a couple of days. That'd be a deer right there. Middle of the screen. So, anyway. It's late enough. Becky's been up because the pups are out here, which means she's fed them. It means I can go in and feed myself and not have to worry about the pups. So, figure out what I'm going to do after breakfast. In the meantime, we started the day at, was it 53 or 54 degrees and 98% humidity. Oh yeah, Blue says hi too. Well, it's dipping in just a little, but it's should be slacked. I hope. Probably should put some blocks on that tire so it can't go anywhere. Cribbing underneath there. It's not quite touching, but I need like 3/8 of an inch. So, and I'm assuming everything's probably metric on here. After all, it was made in France. They measure about 11/16 hex on those bolts, so that's what I'm going to start with. See if it fits. It's already icky out. I've been out here for a little bit, but when I came back out, it was 63 degrees and felt like I walked into a frickin' sauna. So, yes, that's on. It helps. We'll all be dipped. I expected that to be a royal pain in the ass. The biggest pain in the ass was finding metric bolts that fit. That's like one thread in. It was just long enough to be able to push off. The other one is farther. But here, I got to show you this. I'm going to draw it back out, but watch the socket. That's not shadow you're looking at. and it's not me wiggling when it's turning. That head is not centered. It is far from it. I literally just got it in there, and I don't even know that it really made contact, and it popped up. So I'm going with that as a big plus. And of course, 2 different size heads. Go figure. I suppose I can take this all the way out now. Took me forever to find the right size and pitch. I found about frickin' 15 or 20 bolts that were all longer but finer thread. So, those are still tight, but this is loose. That's what I wanted to. And I'm thinking that's just a cap and doesn't have the other piece on it. That makes a difference for what the parts are I got to get. I think I showed you in the book yesterday. Shows 2 different caps. One is just a cap, and what they called it, but all it is a pin with a collar in the middle of it. I'm sure it's all machined one piece that goes in, and I don't know if there's a bearing bottom and top. All I've been able to find in anything is the races down here. That's all I've been able to find. So I'm going to find out when I get into it. But at any rate, one of them, the cap has a shaft machined into it. You know, it's all part of it. And the other one, it's a separate shaft and just a flat cap. So, but I'm going to let you go so I can see if I can figure this out. And obviously that cap is loose now, so, and anybody wondering, I got to the slack point, but it sure looks to me like that tire is still tipped in. Therefore, I don't got to worry about it going out. That'd be a really bad thing, because if it goes out, it's going to do whatever it's going to do to that. It's going to lay down on my metal, probably hit the bench, and the tractor's going to go this way and follow it to the ground. And then, we pretty much, excuse me, but fucked. So, interesting. If I move the jack up and down a little bit, it moves the opposite of what you would think it would move. Because I'm not sure what the heck. I'm also not sure what the heck, because I don't think it's a double set of bearings in the top and a double set in the bottom. I think you're A bearing on top and A bearing on the bottom. Because it's the only way I can find. I don't find any other way. Looking in the book and everything. That race is sticking up right now, which makes it loose. So then I'm wondering if it just needs to be shimmed. But on the flip side of that, it could be the bottom bearing that's bad. In which case, that's not going to work to shim the top. Bearing looks great from what I can see. I haven't been able to get the race out, but you know, take a flashlight, I can look in, and what I can see, the bearing looks good. So I think I'm going to clean everything up, put it back together, and see if I can get the bottom apart. Oh, by the way, those cap screws that hold the cap in, they're a 17 millimeter. 11/16 was just a little too loose on it. 17 fits snugly. So anyway, I think I'm going to look at the book again and take another look. So as soon as I jacked it up, everything kind of changed. It seems kind of tight at the bottom. That's with the axle jacked up. So I don't know. There's closer right there than it is right there. You can see the gap on that side and not much on this side, so I'm kind of suspicious that it's the bottom one, which I'm sure will be more of a pain in the ass. But I'm gonna put the top back together after I clean it up. And she's off. She better be watching the fence. She's getting, yep, she ticked that one. Leave the thing too close to the fence, we can't bail it either. Anyway, it's late enough and hot enough. I think she's gonna do good to finish this piece. Because a little after 10:30 and it's 85 degrees already. So anyway, she's doing that. I got a grease zerk in that cap and got it back together. I did not put any grease in it because if I have to take it apart again, I don't want a big mess. And I gotta go see what I can do. You need some gophers? I mean, I guess in the long run, well, a couple of things. With the rubber rolls, if we are cutting stuff with gopher and molehills in it, they crimp it into the freaking hay. Where the impeller conditioner, it would beat it out of the hay. And you run the tedder through, you knock a lot of the dust off. You run the tedder rake through, you knock a lot more dust off. The more dust that's not in it, the better. I mean, it's just floating to a different spot in the field, but you know, whatever. Try to make it work out. Oh yeah, if you hear the cows in the background, they're slightly pissed. I didn't know if they were in or out till I opened the double gate and I was looking back into the barn. I could see a face. As soon as I opened the gate, there was about 5 faces coming out the barn door. So they're locked up there. They don't, I mean, it's warm enough. I don't know if they're gonna come out or not. I will give them the option though when I go back in. I'm gonna let her finish this round and make sure everything's going good, because that thing hasn't been used in a year, you know. And I didn't even clean it up. I did grease it, but I didn't clean it up this morning. I mean, what's on it? A few rotten leaves that as soon as she fired it up, they flew off, so. And cage is set small as it'll go, so it's making a tight windrow. It's still fluffy. Still gets air through it, but there's less exposed to the sunlight, so we'll lose less color and less nutrients out of it. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the other noise. The neighbor over there, he's got his mighty rotary mower out. Bush hog, whatever you want to call it. And whatever's there, he goes through it. Chunks of firewood or whatever. And last time I saw his mower, there really wasn't much top left on it. It was pretty much just the framework. And I don't think I could be the one running it. Surprised he hasn't killed himself with it yet. We used to cringe when we were in the trailer and he'd be mowing, because he'd be close enough that, you know, every now and then you'd hear something fly and hit something, but nothing came through any windows. So anyway, see what else we do. I don't think it's going to be a very long day. Not as fast as it's getting warm. Well, she made it that far, and she says,
I'm fucking all done.
Because it's that hot. Some of this might go today, but I know there's wet spots out there.
There's a lot of wet slugs.
What I checked in here, most of it was good enough, but not all of it. I don't need.
There's some good fucking wet slugs.
I don't need to be filling a barn and emptying it.
My knee's fucking killing me. He's popping again.
Yeah, her knee's killing her, and her mother made the mistake earlier. If she went to the bathroom,
no.
and while wiping her butt, her back went wacko again after Ty just straightened it up again this morning.
No, I did that yesterday.
Yeah, well, either way. I checked it again this morning.
It seems like I popped the fucker back in for her.
And I found a couple of videos on those front ends. One of them's on a John Deere, and I think it's pretty much similar. A little backwards, but similar. And the other one's on a white with a loader on it. That's up there near Regina, Canada. Oh, Straight Pipe Acres. I remember him working on that now.
Do you want me to drive and you sit passenger so you can get video?
I can get video while I'm doing it. I just can't talk while I'm doing it.
I know. That's why I said you don't.
I can talk with the phone. Anyway, looks like I'm gonna have to pull the freaking tire and wheel off.
Huh?
And she just said, "Huh?" Because it's loaded. It's. I'm just gonna take a stab in the dark, around 1,000 pounds, maybe more. Because you got the. Well, the rim probably weighs 30 or 40 pounds at least. The center weighs probably 60 or 80 pounds. The tire weighs a couple hundred pounds. And the tire's full of calcium.
Don't tell me that.
Oh yeah, and the cows were chicken. I opened it up so they could get back out earlier. And they decided that they were going to sit in the feed barn and duller. A couple of them were sitting outside it. But that group over there decided to come outside.
It's like 241 daughter.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Maybe a 241 daughter that Cowboy's after. But anyway, I don't know how much more we're going to do. Have a late lunch and cool off and decide.
I know what I'm fucking doing. I'm going the fuck home back there.
And she wanted me to sit passenger side. That right there says it all. They're breathing so fast you can hardly see it in the camera. It's at least 95 out. Ty just left a couple minutes ago. Of course, she leaves me to go feed. At least the dogs are out. Well, at least Rainy's outside. Ty actually found a better video. A gentleman in England working on a much newer one. A little bit different, but not much. The housing seemed to be the same housing. It had, instead of this little bump here, it had an actual stop. And instead of the cylinder on each side with a tie rod, it's got like the axles on our cases are, and it's a double-ended cylinder built into here. Otherwise, pretty much looked the same. I didn't notice what the bottom was. I think this is like Straight Pipe Acres did his little white 160. He calls it Army. He did that, I think, 4 years ago. I watched that video today, too. Thank you, Ryan. This bottom one, I think, has that nub on it. And all they do, they press the mate into the axle housing, and then you bolt that up. And it's like, why don't they do something a little different? Every one I have seen, there was a guy did one on a John Deere, and it had the nub on the bottom. It had actually wore through, and he said when he was done, the surface that held the nub in was, or the mate to the nub in was fine, but where the seal was supposed to go had torn it up. So, and it's more open. You know, this is completely enclosed. He said that he put a grease zerk in. Of course, he put it in on the top, and I'm thinking that don't leave you a lot of room, but whatever works. He put that in because he couldn't put the seal in. So he figured if he greases it once in a while, it'll keep the crud out of it. I think they'd have grease zerks to begin with. I mean, you know, you look what they're carrying. And this one's never had a loader on it that I know of. But, you know, you're still bouncing across the field. You're beating on that piece down there all the time. But those others had, the race for the bearing was in this piece, and then the bearing came in with the cap from the top, the cone. And this is the other way around. Literally, the cone is right here, and the race is underneath the cap this direction. So, until we get it apart, I don't know. I mean, I know the top's going to come apart again. That's not going to be hard. The bottom, on the other hand, does not have the tapped holes for putting your bolts in to pull it. And I have not found where there's a notch in a couple of the videos I watched, there's actually a notch right here, so you can get in with the with a chisel to pop it. And I have not found that on the bottom yet. I'll work on that tomorrow because it's flat out too freaking warm. Jack's always been a good jack, but you know what? You're right, it's not tight. But if the jack settles, that'll catch part of the weight, and hopefully that won't collapse. I don't think it will. Honestly, I don't know how much these things will hold. I just know that, you know, every freaking shop in the country's got these things laying all around, and they put them under everything. Usually like to stack 6x6s, but that would require me to have more than just these little ones close. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you oh dang it. Yeah. Hope you all had a great Sunday. Hope everybody has a great Monday. And oh yeah, something else I'm not looking forward to is popping these. When we got this tractor, as you can tell, somebody had already bobble-boobled that. They'd done the same thing up here. And we actually ended up boring it out. And Dad made a set of tapered sleeves, but he got the taper off just a little bit. And I made it for a year and broke the shaft off out of that. And then we got brand new ones again for both sides. I told Dad, I said, just take them into Tom. So Dad took them into Tom, said, we're looking at a 1-inch hole we're putting it into. Tom made 4 or 5 of them before he got the right taper, because you can't really measure it accurately. You go until it fits if you don't know what it is for sure. And of course you don't know what it is for sure. And he made us 4. 2 of them are still in here. They've been in here for 10 or 15 years. The other 2 are tied together over in the bushings drawer with a tag on them saying what they're for. So I really don't want to take that out, but we're going to have to. And really, if this would have been, if I'd have noticed this last fall, we would have got rebuild kits for the cylinders and just done it all while it was in here. But the important thing right now, I think that's fine, but that's gone. The other side's fine. I get parts for this, get this apart, see what it looks like. I might be able to figure a way to grease the other one, so maybe it'll last a lot longer. I don't know. We will see. At any rate, thanks for watching, everybody. If somebody's working on one of these and you've seen what we did for mistakes already, yeah, it happens. No, I've never taken one of these apart. I can't think of the gentleman in England. Super 61, I think, was his channel name. If so, he did it about 9 months ago from today's date, which is what? Yeah, hey, the 8th of June, 2025. Straight Pipe Acres did his, I believe, 4 years ago, something like that. I saw enough on Straight Pipe Acres to figure part of it out, but he didn't show pulling the knuckle and the final off. And it's like, did he split it to do it or not? I did finally find a spot in the book that says you don't have to split it here to service that. And the guy with the John Deere, his shaft stayed with the final drive and came out of the axle housing. And a gentleman in England with the bigger, newer Massey, his came out the same way. So that's what we're going to bank on. We'll find out.